We're having a great time here at the AI Plus Career Stage. Please welcome our next presentation. Joining on stage is Nick Stateline, Mark Ruggiano, and the Senior Director of Global Tech Strategy at the University of Virginia Darden School of Business, Mr. Carlos Bortoni.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm gonna have to move my lapel over there. Thank you so much for coming to have you this morning. We're very excited to be here. Special thanks to SCSP for hosting us again. UVA was one of the schools that attended the first SCSP conference last year, so we're very excited to be back. And you know, I cannot stress this enough. The type of conversations that we've been having over the last 3 days with you all have just been absolutely fantastic. So I am very honored to have a couple of folks up on stage with me. And rather than doing one more lecture with a bunch of slides, which I'm sure you've been sitting on for the last 2 days, we wanted to change up the format a little bit and rather do more of a fireside chat and have some of the different perspectives from across UVA and from our alums to talk about kind of what's going on in the tech space, what are we trying to do through UVA, and kind of get us started. So we'll do a very quick intro, so I have a couple of questions lined up, and I'm keeping track of time, so obviously we'll open it up for questions to you as well. So with that in mind, Mark, why don't you kick us off? Tell us a little bit about who you are and kind of what you do at UVA.
Awesome. And is the sound coming through okay? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So I'm Mark Ruggiano. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you to Nick and Carlos and gang for including me. I am the founding director of the Lacrosse AI Institute. We focus on ethical AI, primarily in business. We're part of the Darden School, but we represent all of the university. More or?
I think we're going to keep going around. Nick?
Okay. Sure. Nick Stateline. So I lead technology ecosystems and partnerships at a VC firm called Cleveland Avenue. We invest in companies that are in the AI, robotics, digital experience space, and I work with them on their strategy and how to bring solutions to market.
Thanks, Nick. And then for myself, Carlos Bortoni, I lead the global tech strategy for UVA Darden, and I also lead our brand new Tech Hub initiative through the Darden Institute for Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Tech. Basically, the TLDR, our main focus is to elevate our standing in tech. And a lot of the work that we do is working very closely, obviously, with our faculty like Mark, with our alums like Nick, and try to build that both internal and external ecosystem. And what we're finding is that there is just so much energy to build cool stuff that for a university like UVA, who's ready to be an active player in this space, we got to be in the room, we got to find these connections, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that this morning. So with that, let's jump right in. Nick, I'm going to start with you. So you're an alum from UVA. You've worked in tech. You've worked you're working in VC now. Tell us a little bit about kind of your journey. What has that experience been like, and kind of that connection to UVA post-grad?
Sure. So I was in the college at UVA, College of Arts and Sciences, econ major. But I started my career actually at AT&T in their government solutions side. And at the time when I was graduated from UVA, didn't really have, like most kids, didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But I found that teleco, technology was an area where I liked and I also liked the intersection with government because I was figuring out how could I bring technology solutions to the government. And then I eventually joined Samsung, and I helped do a little bit more of that there, where I helped build out their secure mobile business and doing cool things with smartphones and secure spaces and tactical communications, and did that in a few other industries and ended up leading their B2B solutions group in the US here before I left. And I think along the way, UVA has been an awesome supporter. It's a network that I've tapped into, and especially over the last year and a half or so since we met, and in the venture space, because they can get involved in many different aspects from innovation side, but also partnership and also as a connector. So it's been awesome to leverage that network throughout my journey.
That's awesome. And one of the things that, when you're walking around here at the Expo and you're talking to the folks in the booths and you're seeing the products and the services, there's just so much going on, right? Like it changes not even by the month, it changes by the day. So I'm going to ask kind of like a rapid fire question here. What are the top 3 things that excite you in this space, either that you've seen here over the last couple of days or just in the work that you're doing? Nick, we'll go first with you.
Oh, okay. So I think a couple things, but I think what's been really exciting for me is there's been so much advance with models, LLMs, sort of the horsepower behind AI in the last 12, 18 months. Something that I've seen and been very excited about is how do we actually make this more accessible, more human, more tied into meaningful workflows in enterprises and government. And there's a couple different ways that people are doing this. So one is with sort of the rise of agentic AI, how do we provide something with more empathy, as an example, be able to have that personalized context that's connected into relevant data. So if you start connecting AI agents, workflows, and data together, becomes pretty powerful. And so I've seen industry players here at the show, at recent events in the last couple months. They're really figuring out how do we make this something that we can implement that's accessible for employees to deploy, but also for constituents, citizens, customers to access more readily accessible as well. So that's been exciting to me.
Love it. Mark?
Yeah, a couple of things that really excite me. When you look at the long arc of AI, so AI, didn't just start in 2022, right? It goes back decades. And when you look at that long arc, we've done a lot of thinking about AI from a theoretical and conceptual perspective. And we've done a lot of development and testing in very controlled environments, in labs and through simulation and other things. And so, my excitement right now really stems from seeing AI in the wild, right? Seeing AI in life, in the world, using tools that, at least right now, are designed for human beings, right? Interacting with information that is largely curated and presented for human beings, right? And so you can probably see where the next thing that I'm excited about is going is when all of that information and those tools are better aligned with the users of the future, which will be AI agents and other manifestations that we are just working on right now, right? It will be an order of magnitude greater performance any way you want to measure that performance. And we are working on measuring it in different labs at UVA. But all of that flows back to the fact that we now have AI in the wild. We can see it in the real world, doing real things, interacting with all of you and all of us, real people.
And one of the things that strikes me as really fascinating, that gets me excited, is how the technology is really going across industry, right? Like I think about personalized medicine, the leaps and bounds that we're going to see in that field, the potential for new forms of energy and energy efficiency that we will need in order to sustain the growth and pace of AI is also exciting. And then in general, I think you two are alluding to this, how people interact with the technology. Like this is ubiquitous and it's becoming, everyone talks about it, everyone knows about it. We're past the awareness curve and how easy it's going to be to develop those skills. And by the way, like the role that places, like UVA and other universities have in making those skills accessible to, all the way from before higher education is going to be important. Which takes me now a little bit more to like the work specific that you're doing. Mark, we're going to start with you. In terms of the work that you and the faculty are doing at Darden and the School of Data Science, can you pull back the curtain and tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. So there are any number of places at UVA, including at the Darden Graduate School of Business, where AI is front and center from an academic research perspective, from what we're training and developing our students to do, the skills and the leadership abilities and things like that. And in places where we are partnering with or looking to partner with companies in industry that are on the cutting edge. The La Crosse Institute for Ethical AI, which I lead, is one of those places, but there are many others in our School of Engineering, in our School of Commerce, in our College of Arts and Sciences, in computer science, computer engineering, et cetera. The La Crosse AI Institute draws from all of those disciplines, which is a uniquely AI phenomena, right, where many disciplines have come together historically and are coming together today to advance the state of the art of AI, the application of AI, et cetera. Within La Crosse, we are focused on how ethical considerations manifest themselves, but not just in the traditional, some might say, hand-waving about principles, right? Principles are important, but ethical AI happens when we address considerations across the AI value chain, from the infrastructure that is used to develop and run it, all the way through to the way that we manage applications of it in our organizations, and we evaluate the results and the outcomes, right? And everything in between. When we take those considerations into account, then we get ethical AI, and that's what the La Crosse AI Institute and our research partners are focused on.
Awesome. Nick?
Yeah, so I think, tying back to the last question, it's fun when what you're excited about intersects with what you're working on. So I think one of my portfolio companies, a company called Soul Machines, they're working with government on really impactful AI agent applications. And what Soul Machines does is they create this emotionally responsive, real-time responsive AI avatar interactive technology you can deploy. And they're working in this space with a leading provider in human capital management, YRCI, who's actually here today, on how do we actually create these really powerful applications to support both employees within government, within their workflows and processes, in places like HR business associate agents, procurement workflows, but also, citizen-facing too, so that I can actually, as a citizen or a veteran, engage without wait time, with getting the information I need quickly, which leads to better outcomes, better care, better satisfaction, more success for both, citizens and then also, employees within the government, and helping them function more effectively, especially do more with less. So I think I brought an example today to actually show this in action. And I wanted to share an awesome example of with veterans. Oh, we might have lost the sound here.
Let's see if we can load that up.
Okay. Yeah.
Nope. There we go.
Hi,
There it goes.
I'm Mia, your benefits agent. I see that you're logged in as Steve Williamson. Is that correct?
Yes, this is Steve.
Great. Steve, we appreciate your service. How can I help you today?
I've been noticing that I'm not hearing as well as I used to, and I'm wondering if my veterans benefits cover hearing tests and hearing aids.
You'll definitely want to get that checked out. Let me take a look at your benefits. Okay, I see here that your priority level does include audiology coverage, if your primary care doctor deems it necessary. Have you already seen your primary care doctor for this issue?
No, I wanted to see if it was covered first.
I see your primary care doctor is Amy McDaniels. Would you like to make an appointment now?
That would be great.
Okay, here are a few available appointments. Do any of these work for you?
Let's do Monday the 3rd at 10 a.m.
Perfect. I've booked that for you and sent you a calendar invite to your email. Based on your address in the system, there are 3 in-network audiology centers near you. Would you like me to email you a list of those centers?
That's a good idea. Thanks.
No problem. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's it.
Okay, have a great day, Steve. Bye.
All right. So I think a couple things that you probably saw in that example, outside of the awesome technology, but you see the data, the personalized context information about the provider, who the person may be working with within the system, and pulling that together in an awesome UX experience. I think that's super powerful. So that's exciting to me, and I see real impact that Soul Machines is making in concert with YRCI, in this space in the government area.
That's awesome. And on our side of the Batten Institute for Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Tech, what gets me really fired up is exactly having these types of conversations with academia, with industry, with our thought partners. I know there's a couple of folks here that we've partnered a couple months ago. We actually launched a hackathon with Seasoned Solutions and with Google, literally to take our MBA students from 0 to 60 in the span of 2 weeks, start building the architecture for agentic AI based on all the different tools and products within Google Cloud specifically in this case. But the idea that we can move fast, right? Like just because we're higher ed does not mean that we need to move at higher ed speeds. And a lot of that energy comes from finding people that want to build cool stuff with us. So with that, and I'm keeping track of time, rapid fire. Nick, we're going to start with you, Mark, and then I'll close us off. Any specific pitch or ask that is top of mind for you at Cleveland Avenue, Mark, on you on the faculty side, folks? Again, I mean, we have a really cool audience here of folks that are likely thinking about these things. Nick?
Yeah, so I think I'll share one thing about my perspective working with UVA and Batten. Personal story. So I first came in touch with Carlos when I was doing something crazy within the space, thinking about different ways to innovate and collaborate. And I actually lead the Samsung Employee Alumni Group here in the area. And came into contact with Carlos and said, hey, it'd be really interesting if we did some sort of collaboration with Darden on this front. But by the way, we need a space to meet, and there's some other things we need to do. And I think, one, guys like Carlos and UVA, they're hungry to engage with the tech community. They're at this awesome intersection of tech and government, which is great. And I think, what's really evolved from that initial interaction was, multifaceted collaboration on a lot of different fronts. So, including, sessions like today. So I would say my advice is there's a lot of ways to engage with UVA and Darden outside of just being a student. Engage, bug guys like Carlos on, crazy ideas that you have and ways that you like to work with them. Yeah.
Thanks, Nick. Mark?
Sure. I second, the things that Nick mentioned and that we've talked about here. One of the things that hasn't come up is, UVA is a premier institution in healthcare. We have one of the largest research set of activities in the healthcare space, certainly in the Commonwealth, but also in the nation. And if you are interested in AI and healthcare, not only is the La Crosse AI Institute interested, but many other units at UVA are interested. So any of us can make those connections. Feel free to talk to any of us about any of the things you're interested in. But if it's AI and healthcare, there's a bunch of cool stuff going on that we'd love to tell you about.
And then last, because I have literally 8 seconds, come by our booth. We're literally this direction. Come say hi. We're very, very excited to be an active player in this space. There's so much activity, so much energy, and we'd love to find more ways to be helpful to you all. So thanks again for your time, and we look forward to continuing the conversation. Have a great day.
Thank you so much to our speakers.